I'm Steve Price. I grew up in North Carolina. I grew up mesmerized by pictures of beaches and palm trees and the wonderful life in California. So the day I graduated, actually it was the day I took my last exam in college. About 11 o'clock, I laid that exam on the teacher's desk, and 2 hours later, I was on a plane headed for San Francisco, California. I woke up the next morning in Marin County. I looked out at the sun, the beautiful scenery, and I thought, oh, I've arrived. The concept of Teaching Fellows was first introduced to me on a trip to North Carolina. During the last few years of his career, I was able to carry Dr. Buchanan's luggage and handle his logistics on some trips, and one of those trips was to a superintendent's conference in North Carolina that he was leading. At that conference, I met a man who had just established a statewide program called Teaching Fellows, which was a scholarship program for future teachers. And the whole idea of Teaching Fellows in North Carolina was to diversify the teaching population and to bring added quality to teacher education. As I had that in my experience in Clovis, I came to Fresno State and became aware of the Mini-Corps program, and I saw what a great model that was, where these Mini-Corps students were getting experience in schools early on in their educational career. Came to realize that, we could use that Teaching Fellows concept from North Carolina and expand Mini-Corps. We just have to find a way to fund it. So I started writing grants left and right, and finally, about 1997, 98, I hit on a 5-year grant with the Office of English Language Acquisition, and I built the Teaching Fellows concept into that grant. Some of my favorite stories come from the travels we did, taking students to Washington, D.C. who had never been there, being on a plane with people taking their first plane ride, taking ferry rides in the Bay Area with Teaching Fellows who'd never been on a ferry. Many favorite stories, but I think one that really gripped me that still holds today was a story of, we had 2 Teaching Fellows at West Fresno Middle School. As they neared the end of the year, they realized that the 8th graders that were graduating, really, there were some things lacking in the celebration of their graduation. I don't remember the exact details, but I remember that the 2 of them really got it together and on their own began to organize a very positive ending to the school year for these 8th graders. It's stories like those that show the commitment and the willingness to go beyond the normal expectations of the job that have really stick with me and our favorite stories. I still support the California Teaching Fellows Foundation today because I think it's one of the most effective tools in education for developing future teachers. On the one hand, we're developing future teachers. That opportunity to give undergraduates meaningful work that's relevant to their future is one side. The other side is we have these role models going out into the community. Kids today really need adults who care. One of the most impactful things for kids in their development and helping them just survive education is to have role models in their lives that are not family, that they realize know them by their name, care about how they're doing. And so that whole nurturing of K through 12 students through expanded learning, I just think that's why I'm still pro Teaching Fellows. My advice to Teaching Fellows is what my advice is to almost everybody, and that is take care of the people around you, and they will take care of you. That goes for your supervisors, it goes for your peers, working as a team, it goes for the kids that you're serving. But if you will just have their best interest in mind, take care of their best interest, then you're going to have a great network around you that is supportive, and it's going to be one of the best things you can do.